Mallory's second attempt at Everest. This time, they were serious. No reconnaissance, no exploration, summit or nothing. Mallory was confident. Too confident. "We'll reach the top this year," he told the team. "I feel it." The expedition began well. They established camps, climbed higher than anyone before, 7,000 meters, then 7,500. Everything was going according to plan. May 20th, 1922. Camp 3. Mallory gathered the team. "Tomorrow, we push for the summit," he announced. Some climbers hesitated. "The weather looks unstable. Maybe we should wait." Mallory dismissed them. "We've waited long enough. Tomorrow, we climb." That decision would haunt him forever. May 21, early morning. The team began climbing. 14 men total, 7 British climbers, 7 Sherpa porters carrying supplies. The Sherpas went first, breaking trail through fresh snow, heavy loads on their backs. The British climbers followed. Lighter loads, slower pace. Mallory was in the middle, pushing everyone forward. "Keep moving. We're losing time." At around 14,000 feet, the snow conditions changed. Softer, deeper, more unstable. One of the Sherpas stopped, looked back at Mallory, concerned. "Sahib, the snow, not safe." Mallory waved him forward. "It's fine. Keep going." The Sherpa hesitated. But orders were orders. He continued. They climbed for another hour. The slope steepened. The snow got deeper. Then it happened. A sound. Low, rumbling, like thunder underground. One of the British climbers shouted, "Avalanche!" The entire slope broke loose. Thousands of tons of snow, moving at massive speed. The 7 Sherpas were directly in the path. No time to react. No time to run. The avalanche hit them, swept them away, buried them instantly. The British climbers higher up the slope were barely missed, safe, alive. But the Sherpas below, gone, disappeared under the snow. Mallory stood frozen, watching, unable to process what just happened. Then panic. Dig now! They dug frantically. Hands, ice axes, anything. But the snow was too deep, too heavy, too much. After an hour, they found the first body. Lifeless, frozen, then the second, then the third. By evening, they had recovered all 7 bodies, all dead. 7 men, 7 families, 7 lives, gone. Because Mallory pushed too hard. Because Mallory ignored the warnings. Because Mallory wanted the summit more than he valued caution. That night, Mallory sat alone in his tent, staring at nothing. The expedition leader came in. "George, it's not your fault. Avalanches happen." Mallory didn't respond. "We'll continue. We'll try again. We can still..." "No," Mallory interrupted, voice flat, empty. "We're done. We go down." The leader was surprised. "But we're so close. We can..." "I said we're done." Mallory's voice broke. 7 men are dead. Because of me. The expedition ended. They descended, defeated, devastated. Back in England, the newspapers reported the tragedy. 7 Sherpas perish on Everest. Not 7 men, not 7 climbers, 7 Sherpas, as if their lives mattered less, as if they were expected casualties. Mallory read those headlines and felt sick. His wife, Ruth, tried to comfort him. "It was an accident. You couldn't have known." "I did know," Mallory said quietly. "The Sherpa warned me. He said the snow wasn't safe. I ignored him. You were trying to reach the summit. You were doing your job." "My job?" Mallory looked at her with hollow eyes. "My job killed 7 men. Ruth had no answer. Mallory stopped climbing for months, couldn't even look at mountains. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the avalanche, heard the rumbling, saw the bodies. His friends thought he would quit, give up Everest forever. But they didn't understand obsession. Because guilt and obsession can coexist. Sometimes obsession feeds on guilt. After 6 months, Mallory started training again, quietly, secretly. Ruth noticed. "George, what are you doing?" "Preparing." "For what?" "Everest. I'm going back." Ruth was stunned. "After what happened? After those men died?" "Because of what happened," Mallory said. "If I quit now, they died for nothing. But if I reach the summit, their sacrifice means something." That's not how it works, Ruth argued. They didn't sacrifice, they were killed. Mallory knew she was right, but he couldn't accept it, because accepting it meant accepting he was responsible, and he couldn't live with that. So he twisted the narrative, made their deaths purposeful, part of a greater mission. It wasn't true, but it let him sleep at night. Mallory met with the expedition organizers. I want to try again. One more attempt. They were hesitant. After 1922, the public might not support it. The public wants Everest climbed, Mallory said. I can do it. I know I can. What about the Sherpas? Will they climb with you again? Mallory paused. I'll make it safer. I'll listen to them. I won't make the same mistake. But would he? Could he? Because when the summit called, when obsession took over, would Mallory listen to warnings or ignore them again? He wanted to believe he'd changed, but deep down he knew. If the choice came again, summit or safety, he'd choose summit. That's what obsession does. It overrides everything, even guilt, even responsibility, even death. The 1924 expedition was approved. Mallory was chosen to lead the summit attempt. Before he left, he visited the families of the 7 Sherpas, one by one. He apologized, gave them money, tried to make amends. Most accepted quietly. What choice did they have? But one widow, her eyes red from crying, asked him, "Will you bring my husband back?" Mallory shook his head. "No, I'm sorry, I can't." "Then what good is your apology?" Mallory had no answer. She continued, "You climb for glory, my husband climbed for money to feed his children, and now he's dead, and you're here preparing to climb again." "I'm trying to honor his memory," Mallory said weakly. "By risking more lives?" she asked. "That's not honor, that's selfishness." Her words cut deep, because she was right. Mallory wasn't honoring anyone. He was chasing his own need, his own obsession. But he couldn't stop, even knowing this, even seeing the pain he caused, because the mountain had him now, completely. As he left for the 1924 expedition, Ruth asked one final time, "Is it worth it? Is Everest worth all this pain?" Mallory thought about the 7 Sherpas, their families, the guilt that never left. Then he looked at Everest in his mind, the unconquered peak, the unanswered challenge. "Yes," he said, "it's worth it." Ruth cried. She knew she'd lost him, not to the mountain yet, but to the obsession. 1922 taught Mallory nothing, except that he was willing to sacrifice anything, anyone, for the summit. 7 men died, and Mallory learned the wrong lesson. He didn't learn caution. He learned that sacrifice was acceptable, as long as the goal was achieved. That's the tragedy, not the avalanche, but what came after. Mallory could have quit, should have quit. Those 7 deaths should have ended his Everest dreams. But obsession doesn't work that way. Obsession justifies everything. So Mallory went back in 1924 with the same drive, the same need, the same willingness to risk lives, including his own. And this time, the mountain would take him too,